So here is guidelines on IT placement letter requests for all the students that will be proceeding on 4 months IT or 1 year IT. There are two things you need to know. One, the letters the institute is issuing out via the SIWES unit is now customized. Customized in the sense that the student name is already in the letter, the name, the region number, and the department. Unlike what we have before in the previous years, where the student have to put in their name, their department, and their region number. And the letter is also now carrying the student passport. So another thing that the unit has recently achieved is this. We have now also made the letter it could be electronically accessed. It could be now electronically accessed. And that will go a long way to eliminate the challenges of some of the students or some of you that have traveled for any reason or the other, and they are begging, requesting, can the letter be webbed to them, or is there any way they can, a scan copy could be sent to them so that they will print from their location. I believe that these two, approach the unit has adopted will go a long way to make this process seamless and hassle-free. So without much ado, let's quickly delve into the demonstration. Yeah. So look at what is expected before a student proceed on IT. You are expected to be given your logbook and the IT request letter. These are the two items the SIWES unit will give you. Look at the sample of the logbook. So what we have done now is this. When you come, we'll just give you a logbook. Now, inside at the back of that logbook, we will attach something like a pin. Either it is handwritten or on a sheet of paper, it will be a pin. So that pin is for that logbook. So what you expect to do as a student on receiving this logbook is this: you use your smartphone or anything you could use to access the internet. Go to the school portal. Like we know, you can go through mtiportal.org.ng, mtiportal.org.ng, mtiportal.org.ng. Or you could as well go through the school website, mti.org.ng. Then from there, you now go to the student portal, or you go straight by writing mtiportal.org.ng. This is a familiar environment. You see that the login page will open. Inside this login page, the student will be expected to enter his user ID, as we all know, which is now your student reg number. Permit me to use this reg number. I just saw this reg number now. I know it's a reg number of one of the students. So quite lucky for that student. We are using your reg number for demonstration. That is a reg number of 2023/2024/1734. So this is a reg number of a student. I don't even know who owns this reg number, but I know it's one of our students. Permit me to use your reg number for this demonstration. So we will use the default password, which is student. I know many of us have not changed ours, but if you have changed your own, you now use whatever you have changed. Now, after putting your reg number as your default, as your user ID, and student as default password, if you have not changed, you go to the login button. See the login button here. You now click. So when you click, it says, "Welcome, Okwasa. Login successful." I believe this is a very familiar, this is quite a familiar environment for us. Okay. So you can see the page has now landed us to the student dashboard. This is the student dashboard. I believe this is a familiar environment to all of us. If you watch here, either you come to this menu where you see all the menus, or you can make use of this quick link. Either could give you access to most of the modules that are in this student dashboard. So you can see now, maybe if you just log in recently, you will discover, or if you had logged in some few days ago, you see that there was nothing like this SIWES IT button here. So this is the innovation we are talking about. So if you log in now, you'll be seeing this SIWES IT button. And that is what we want to quickly demonstrate for those of us that will be proceeding on their industrial attachment. There are other buttons, other menus. I think going forward, we'll be bringing videos on how to utilize the functionalities that are in this dashboard. So, but let me quickly go to the SIWES IT button. Just click there. It says that this will load the SIWES module. You said okay. When you click OK, you see you see the name of the student. It has opened, and the thing now will be saying students should obtain access pin to generate industrial attachment placement application letter. That is what we are talking about. That is what we are talking about. Instead of bothering you, you coming to, we can just give you a pin. You log in. So let's look at the sample pin that is in this logbook that I'm using for demonstration. Let's look at the sample pin that is in this logbook. I will now type it. Look at the pin is this 8. Let me type it. Okay. Now I have typed the pin. This is the pin. And the beauty of it is this. Once a pin has been used for a particular student, no other student can use it. I think that's the beauty of the system. So you now click validate. It says pin successful. You now click OK. Now the pin validation is successful. Look at the next menu that has opened. It says provide, please provide the organization's or establishment address. Like we know in the manual or the hard copy IT we used to issue in the past. For those of you that had once had their IT, maybe 3 months, and now you are going for 1 year, what we had then is that you were meant to write the address of this, on the physical IT letter that you'll be given. But now the way we have done it is that you can just come here, write the address. Let's say you want to apply to the director, the managing director. I'm taking this as a case study, managing director, or you are writing to the manager. Let me make it simple. You are writing to the manager. Let me use this eSolution Africa. eSolution Africa. Assuming this is the organization where you want to apply. Now eSolution Africa or nature, or let me say kilometer 6/7, kilometer 6 or nature Owerri Road, or nature Owerri Road, or nature Anambra State. Assuming this is the name of the organization you want to apply, you just type it here. Then you come here, you see the student picture will be there. You have generate with pre-fill address. Now you have digitally entered the address. You now click on this, or you could as well use this option. But let me click on this since I have entered the address. It says it will preview this. I say yes. So now this option, look at what this option will give us. It will generate a sample of this letter. We should be familiar with this letter, carrying the official institutional letterhead. So this is the letter we would have ordinarily given you, a printed hard copy. But we want to now give you the flexibility to get this letter, put the names of organization you want, and print it as many number of times as possible and send to many number of places as possible, just to widen, enhance, and give you better opportunities in securing an industrial attachment placement. So now look at it. You can see that address of the organization I have just entered, the manager, eSolution Africa, And then and then the other side, you see, is now carrying the passport of the student. That's what we are talking about. So that on you sending the letter, on the organization citing it, they don't need to ask more questions, because one of the ideas that gave birth to this innovation is that recently some organizations were calling us, wanting us to identify the face of the people that applied to them, because they were afraid. They know that anything can happen these days. They don't want to give the chances where people impersonate as students of one organization and gain access to the organization and then mess them up, now. So we are really on ground to make sure we provide all the necessary enablement to make sure that our institutions stand out in this highly competitive time we are into. So going forward, you see it, you say this says request for 4 months industrial attachment. If you are going for 1 year and we give you that carrying a 1 year pin, your own will be request for 1 year industrial attachment, whichever one. The system is well, automated. You can see the write-up. It's a very familiar write-up. It says here, the bearer, Mr., Mrs., and so on, Ukwa Satochukwu E, with registration number. The system will automatically generate your registration number. It's a student of Metallurgical Training Institute, Onitsha. Metallurgical Training Institute is an extra-ministerial department of the Federal Ministry of Steel Development for training of middle-level technical manpower for iron, steel, and allied industries, including oil and gas sector of the economy. This is a very familiar statement. Going forward, the next paragraph says, he or she is studying a 3-year MTI diploma program in industrial electrical engineering. You see, immediately you put the pin to generate this letter, the system will automatically know the kind of IT you are going for and the duration of the IT you are going for. It will also automatically identify your department. So that is the beauty of the automation. So going forward, it says the objective of student industrial attachments are: 1, to provide students with opportunity to gain additional industrial skills and experience relevant to their field of study. 2, to expose students to work methods and techniques for operating equipment and machinery that may not be accessible during their training. The institute will appreciate any allowance or wages you may approve for the applicant. But remember, like we told some of you during the orientation, wages allowance is not a precondition for you to accept any place of attachment. The driving force should be on exposure, practical exposure. What the organization is doing, is it relevant to your field of study? Will you be practically exposed? When these two things are okayed, whether allowance or no allowance, we encourage you to be there. That is. Now, the next paragraph says, this one is very, very important. We are still talking to the organizations. Please fill out the attached acceptance form to confirm your acceptance of the student for industrial attachment. For any further inquiries and so on, then you can see it is carrying the stamp, the signature of the SIWES coordinator, the stamp, and now we have also brought in a barcode. This barcode will help for organizations that really want to be sure whether this letter is coming from us. They can scan it, and when they scan it, if what you are holding is original generated IT placement letter, you see that the barcode will show. But if it is fake, it will also show. I think this will go a long way to remove or minimize the level of doubt organizations may have on some people that are going to organizations or places where nobody knows them, and they are now at the mercy of the organization. Now, going forward, this is what the letter holds. But now let me now generate it. Like the second to the last paragraph says, fill acceptance form to confirm. This letter is a 2-page letter. If you watch at the base here, this place I highlighted, it says page 1 of 2. Now, why are we making it 2 pages? I will tell you. The reason for the 2 pages is this. We had a response from students that said the place they are doing their IT is not a well-structured organization that there may be difficult them looking for letterhead to write acceptance letter, which they will not send to us. So in order to take care of this challenge as they're coming, we have made there is another page attached, which is called, if you look at it now, if you look at, this is the second, look at the first letter. The first letter is this. Now look at the second letter. The second letter says acceptance of Okwa Satochukwu E for IT placement. This one, you will also submit it to the organization on approve after they have given you the opportunity to do IT with them, or you could as well submit 2 of them at first instance. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. So now what we expect the organization to do is this. Instead of them constructing, or for organizations that may have challenge in constructing a acceptance letter they will give us, this makes it easy. What they need to do now is this. Look at the write-up. We said, we are pleased to inform you that Okwo Satochukwu has been accepted into the 4 months industrial attachment program at, look at the 2 lines we draw here. In bracket, we say enter address and name of the establishment. So we expect that the organization establishment, even if it is a roadside welder, a roadside mechanic, should be able to write the name and the address. And then it continues. And we are excited to offer him or her the opportunity to gain practical experience with our organization. Furthermore, we would like to express our keen interest in accepting additional IT attachment students from your esteemed institution, especially from the following departments. So what we have done here, or what we are requesting from the student, is this. If an organization has accepted you, why they are feeling this thing, tell them. Tell the person, the manager, the human resource manager, or whoever that is in charge, in that your acceptance process, encourage him or tell him that your school will wish to know if there are also space for some other IT students to come in. So that's why you need to give them this second paper. Very, very important. It will be filled and returned for every student that has proceeded in this IT. Any student that did not return this letter means that is the only evidence for us to know that you have done the IT. So the organization now, what we are now soliciting is that they should tell us if they are still in need. Let's say you are in computer science, and peradventure, that organization will also want to have somebody that is doing IT in instrumentation and control system engineering, an IT student in this area, or they want an IT student in mechanical, or they want an IT student in welding, heavy mobile, metallurgy. If you watch here, you discover that all the departments are represented. So you now tell them the number of students they want, they indicate for us. These remarks, if they want these students immediately, or they want these students in the next year IT, whichever time, they should remarks. And then at the end, the authorized representative of the establishment will now sign and then stamp, and they will now give you this. Immediately they have given you this serves as the acceptance letter. Remember what we told some of you during the orientation. Your duty now is to find a way to send this acceptance letter back to the SIWES unit. Very, very important. This is the only evidence to prove to us that you have started your IT. Remember, we told you that what you are doing is a supervised industrial attachment. It's going to be supervised. So all the SIWES staff, all the people working in SIWES, the SIWES coordinator, we are going to make our time to visit that area you are doing your IT. That is what the government requirement says. That is what National Board for Technical Education, MBTE, that regulates that is presently advocating for. Though we know that has always been the case. So now, that is that. But however, I want to add this. If that organization, this column where they need to fill, if they need more students, it's not a compulsory column. If they had no need for any other IT student and they have accepted you, it's not must, they must fill here. So what you need to do is that they complete the area that has to do with their name, their address, and the person involved will now sign a stamp with their phone number, and they will now give you to send back to us. The standard is that you are meant to come back to MTI and then submit, write your name and submit. But with some prevailing circumstances, we told you during your orientation that the unit can also accept a scan copy of this, so that on acceptance, just after they have filled this, just scan it and send to the SIWES coordinator's WhatsApp. We will take it, so that when you will be returning from the SIWES, you can now bring us the hard copy, especially for those of you that will be doing it, let's say, outside the Anambra State or outside Onitsha. But if you are just doing it here in Onitsha, there's nothing wrong on you bringing it. I think that will also give us opportunity to have some kind of interaction. So please, we hope that every student listening to this illustration will take it serious and then, embrace this innovation the SIWES unit has come up with in order to, give you the opportunity to have a stress-free IT experience. And also, let me go back. I go back to that place we generated the letter. There is also another option. Peradventure, you want to generate this letter without putting the name of the organization you want to send it. It is possible you want to send this letter to an auntie or relation who will then determine where he will send this letter. There is still nothing wrong. We made that provision. That's why when you now come to the second button here where it says generate letter, hand fill address, let me click on it. If you click on this one, look at what it's going to give us now. This will give us option of the letter, but in this case, it's going to be hand fill. Let me click on this button to generate the PDF copy, which cannot be printed. So you see it is opening now. So can you see it? There is the only difference between the computer field and the hand fill one now. This one now has given us a line where you will now write the name of the organization or address it to the organization you are applying to. Then every other information remains the same. Every other information remains the same. The only difference between the two, whether you are printing the pre-filled address of the organization or you are generating your letter with a hand-fill address, either of the option, you are at your discretion. Part of the reasons that gave back to all these innovations, I think is as a result of the feedback we have been getting from some of our students that had already started their IT. So as they bring some of this feedback, we find a way also to re-strategize, to make some corrections, to make some improvement, to enhance what we are doing, so that at the end, every student of Metallurgical Training Institute will enjoy his or her time and period of industrial attachment. I think this will bring us to the end of this. Let me now return. So please, my people, that is that. So if you have question, I will be putting, if you have question, just send it across. Remember, we have our SIWES WhatsApp group. So let your questions come up with it. Your suggestions, ideas is welcome. Thank you and God bless you.